Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the monsters of the Midway, the Chicago Bears, and the New Orleans Saints. With that, let's get over to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome with the call from New Orleans. Here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
And, Coach, we are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome here in New Orleans. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Chicago Bears and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play. And I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They pass the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
Caleb Sturgis now to do the honors and get us started. And we are underway from the Superdome. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the first pick of the second round back in 2001, and that's the veteran Drew Brees.
Total relentlessness of consistency. Almost like a machine. If you watch him in practice after every throw, he resets his feet, visualizes all the other options on a play. So if he has to do it in a game, it's already there, has the muscle memory. I started calling him AI for artificial intelligence. Whatever defense does during a game, he absorbs it and then uses it against them as the game moves on.
The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brees on the draw, gives to Kamara. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some.
And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Leonard Floyd. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted. But it looks like they caught him off guard on 2nd and very long by running the football. All right, we always talk about tendency breakers and counters and doing things opposite the grain, and that worked very well for him. Picked up really nice yardage, but they still have a lot of work to do on 3rd down.
And they get this all the way inside Chicago's 10. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. Running with Kamara, and he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
And Brandon, as we continue to see, so much of the influence on this game is now coming from those hybrid-type players. In this case, strong safety, not worried about covering the pass. What a play on the run.
Tackled for a loss.
Yeah, forget the pregame introductions. Introduced himself with authority on that play.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Maybe the first big test of the season here on both sides. This is 3rd and goal.
Ready. Yellow lady.
Shotgun now for Breeze. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Traquan Smith from 4 yards out. And the Saints take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter, that's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback who grew up just outside of Cleveland on Lake Erie, Mitchell Trubisky.
Well, I talk with people around the league about Mitchell Trubisky when he's coming out of North Carolina. Those that had questions about him, it often centered in on the fact that he was only a 1-year starter and wondered why he couldn't beat out the guy ahead of him beforehand. I just locked in on the athletic ability, the accuracy, and then once he got the football, how the team responded to him. I think his upside is big.
On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. Powerful running, forced out to his left. Now Trubisky lost the football, and this is picked up by the Saints.
All right, let's be frank. You hate the fumble at the end of the play, but prior to that, I liked a lot of what was going on. Tucks it down, takes off, picks up good yardage. But in that portion of the field, that close to the sideline,
step out.
Yeah, either get down or get out of bounds. Take care of the ball.
Yeah, he had the yards, but then the mistake. The All-Pro in 2 positions. Khalil Mack there to make the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And a short gain down to about the 33. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
That's complete to Meredith. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass in the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the first. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. Khalil Mack leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
Ready. You ready?
On 2nd down, here's Breeze. This is caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Breeze now on 3rd and goal. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Leonard Floyd in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. So 1 quarter in the books on NFL kickoff weekend. Plenty of scoring here already. We'll head back to New Orleans after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis back with you as it's Bears football here to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. Now they'll throw it with Trubisky. Over the middle, complete. That's Burton. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And he's going to take this down to about the 17. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it first and goal.
The running game's played a huge part in getting them down to this point on the field. I say stay with it. Keep pounding the football. Keep driving. Keep.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Jordan Howard, a 9-yard touchdown run. And the Bears draw a bit closer. And, Charles, when you catch that toss going right or left, really, but right in this instance, do you go straight for the pylon? Is that where you're going?
Well, typically you want to try and maneuver people a little bit so you have some space to get to the pylon. So I want to make sure I try and move them a little bit to the inside, and in this case to the left, so I can get to the right side and get to that pylon and wink at it as I go by.
Sturgis adds the PAT, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. So this drive spans 7 plays. And finishing it off with a touchdown run was Jordan Howard. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here now, a look at Drew Brees in our player spotlight. And they must have seen something leading up to this one that said, hey, we're going to be able to go deep because they've gone deep with a lot of success.
And pick your phrase, pick your code words, your buzzwords, whatever, vertical stretch, deep passes, go routes, right? What's that route you love? What's that route you love? Four verts. All of it working because they're able to find ways to get deep and for him to show off that big, big arm.
We see some of that big arm right here. He has been great. So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
Ready? You waiting?
Off the play fake to Kamara. It's Brees under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Khalil Mack in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Brees to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
On third and long, it's Breeze. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. They'll begin the drive with Howard. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Being chased out left. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that'll lead here to a third down.
Let's go. We're on the ball after this.
Trubisky now to throw on third down. Throw left side complete. It's Burton. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Trubisky finding the former Eagle Burton for the Chicago first.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Pass interference. Defense.
So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
They run play action for Howard. Now Trubisky. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for Zach Miller as tight end there. And it's third down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Eric Reed. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
So after the INT, it's Breeze. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Jonathan Bullard in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. He goes full extension, and he's got it. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
On that play, it was the defensive front that won the battle. They out-leveraged the offensive line, got into the backfield, and held him to no gain.
This is taken at about the 14. He spins free. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15, and the Bears take over. The Bears offense led by Mitch Trubisky heading back out there. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Throw left side taken in by Hill. And down inside the 15 he goes. 13 yards down to the 13.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Breeze now to throw. And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. 3rd and long now after the sack of Breeze, and the Saints up against it here. To throw, it's Breeze. That's out to Hill, right side complete. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And Lutz puts this one through. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Back out onto the field comes Allen Robinson. Looking down at the stats here, realizing he has no catches. They've targeted him twice, but no catches. So how do they get him more involved, Charles?
You make sure he touches it on routes that he likes to run. Maybe even run a reverse or some type of a jet sweep so he gets his hands on the ball and get him active and involved in the game. You just try and find ways to get him going, and it doesn't have to be something that's big downfield.
Maybe kind of like in basketball, just a shooter seeing the ball go through, you get him a rep, get him more comfortable.
I agree with that totally. Maybe set that solid screen and give him an easy look.
Well, to this point, no catches. And hauled in by the tight end Miller. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll try to run for it with Howard. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he's got it across the 50 to the 47-yard line. To give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. Now a play fake here on first down. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Intentional grounding, offense.
In the pocket, chucked it away, flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field, have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
They lose the yardage, and of course they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. From the gun, it's Trubisky. Steps away to his left. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. A heck of an effort there on the scramble. Leaves them with just 3rd and a yard. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Here's Trubisky to throw. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. So here's the kicker, Caleb Sturgis, on to try the field goal. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And now running right through it. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. We'll begin in the Motor City, in NFC North battle. Detroit hosting Minnesota. And it's the Lions who are out in front as they play the second quarter. The Lions trying to start the season right, and is looking good so far at home. From there, we'll head to Pittsburgh to check on the Steelers at home at Heinz Field. In that game, all square as they take on the visiting Seahawks. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore to check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Raiders. The Ravens looking to get to 1-0, and they've got the lead in front of their home faithful. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Around the NFL, second quarter down in Tampa, and the Bucs are out to an early lead. That'll be a game to monitor as we go along. On first down, Trubisky. Now Trubisky lost the football. But the Bears look to get this one back, and indeed they did. So they'll keep possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now Trubisky to throw on second. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Looking deep for Gabriel. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Here now, a look at Drew Brees in our player spotlight. He's been pretty good when he's had time. The issue is, as we see here, a lot of times he hasn't had the time.
And a lot of that in getting past it is attitude. How's he projecting? Is he showing that the other team is getting to him? Is he showing his guys up front that he's upset, that he's angry, or is he still encouraging? Because those guys, they've got to find a way to pick it up, and it always happens a little bit better if like the quarterback's on their side.
So far, 5 sacks against him. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
From midfield, here's Brees. Oh, look at that, a diving catch. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, They do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Breeze to throw on 2nd down. And this is incomplete.
Well, sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
Now Breeze on 3rd down. They complete it to Hill. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Breeze now on 1st down. And Hill with it over the middle. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in the end zone. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving them. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Again, it's Breeze. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. Khalil Mack getting him once again. His 3rd sack of the afternoon. From the gun on 3rd down, Breeze. And the pressure gets to him again. Akeem Hicks in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long.
And it appears to me that someone's defensive coordinator is jockeying for a raise. A sack on 2nd and goal, a sack on 3rd and goal. Now brings up a decision on 4th down.
And Lutz's kick is good. And now it's a 2-score game at 9, 16-7. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said does. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s. It's the 3rd quarter, and they're down on the scoreboard. And while no one wants to hit the panic button just yet, points are a necessity on this drive. What a great way to get set up.
They'll start things on 1st with Torrey Cohen. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
On 1st down, they run with Howard. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
You see it?
This is Howard on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Demario Davis there on the stop.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Trubisky. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
The Saints coming out now to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Breeze now on first down. And that one knocked away and incomplete. Nice job defensively on what will be the final play of the third quarter. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Saints. They'll be looking to expand their lead here. They've got the football as we start the fourth.
Ready? You ready? 20 seconds.
Breeze will try again on second down. Over the middle, that's caught by Meredith. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. The Saints on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, it's Breeze. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish. The strategy would tell you, run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
Offensively, with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this.
A breakaway from Michael Thomas. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas, 36 yards. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. I think all teams probably like seeing that schedule for the first time, looking at week 1. Oh, good, we're at home. This is why you want to be home in week 1. They're looking sharp.
And I agree with you totally. That's what you want, but there carries a little extra pressure with that as well because you and I both know protecting the home field, winning your home games is paramount in this league. So you go into it, yeah, we want it, but now you actually have to go out and prove it.
Yeah, 2 sides to that coin, and looking like they're going to protect it here in this one. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it. All right? So you got...
He's got a man complete. And he's going to be ripped down by the face mask at the end of this, and that's going to add 15 more onto the end of this thing.
Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise, this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
Now Trubisky on first down. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by the safety, Eric Reed. And he returns it up just shy of the 20 to the 19-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
They go play action here on first down. Over the middle, it's Thomas. And down he'll go at the 25. A gain of 6 there on first.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at the 23. It'll wind up being a net of 41. 9-yard return, 50 on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And this offense led by Mitchell Trubisky going to make their way back out there. With his guys trailing here in the fourth, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near-perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football. If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. To the right side, complete to Miller. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
Looking to throw Trubisky on first down. Completion left side to Miller. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. This might be a free play here for Trubisky. And they drop him for a loss, but penalty markers are on the field. Let's see about the call.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Let's see what they draw up here. 3rd and long following the sack of Trubisky. Now it's Trubisky. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Trubisky will throw. Pressure comes, and Trubisky goes down. Cameron Jordan in there for sack number 85 of his great career, moving him past Hall of Famer Howie Long on the all-time list. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that one that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
Holding offense.
So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. It's a gain of 7 on the ground. Second down coming up. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
Onto the field now come the Bears. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it.
Now Trubisky lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. So they will set up shop. Excellent field position in the red zone at the 19-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. To throw, it's Breeze. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives them a 1st and goal. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Here's Breeze. Toward the pylon, caught. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Saints defense getting ready here, heading back onto the field. They've played excellent. Another stop here, that would just be the icing on the cake.
You definitely want to finish things off the way it's gone throughout the day. and it's gone awfully well for them. They don't want to give up any type of a fluke, any type of a big play here. That'll leave a bad taste in their mouth as they go in and celebrate.
Yeah, they want that good cake taste, right?
No doubt about it. That's 6-layer cake.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Burton. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. And call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves. But
pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Cameron Jordan in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. On play action, they'll throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Taylor Gabriel, 56 yards. And the Bears get a bit closer.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Here's Manuel, and he fires one incomplete. Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a two-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know I know what you're thinking. Well, if he'd had hands, he'd be playing on offense. Right?
That's true. You've said that before. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
The decision is to decline it and not give them the down back.
They might as well have sent a skywriter above the stadium saying, we don't think you can get the first down against our defense by that decision.
A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Ready? You waiting?
Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team. As they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the fourth. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, Coach, what do you want to call? He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Now Manuel. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding offense.
So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Picked off by Ken Drawin. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Pass interference. Defense.
So call off the pick six.
Everything looked right. It looked like it was in their favor. Returned it for a touchdown, as you just described. But instead, the penalty for interference nullifies everything.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week one. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for the